Welcome to HackAware. When we look into these scams, one pattern becomes crystal clear and fast. They almost never just appear out of thin air. They evolve. Now, some are small time, but others are these massive, carefully built machines designed to run for months, and they cause an incredible amount of damage. And that's what brings us to this really urgent situation that's developing right now in Sri Lanka. We're asking this question for a very specific reason. The timing, the structure of this new scheme, honestly, it's deeply alarming. But to really analyze this properly, we need to be very clear about what exactly we're investigating. Okay, so let's just get this out of the way so we're all on the same page. For the purpose of this investigation, we're going to be referring to the scam that's impersonating the global advertising agency Foot, Cone & Belding as the FCB Investment scam. And our investigation, it really begins with a very, very suspicious rebirth. You see, the biggest scams, they don't just vanish when they collapse. The people running them, they often take that core infrastructure, the engine of the scam, and they just slap a new name on it, give it a new story, and launch it all over again. It's a cycle. And we think we're seeing the very beginning of a new one. So to really get what's happening now, we have to look back at what just happened. Just recently, in mid-December 2025, this massive investment scheme called TM, that's Triumph Media, it completely fell apart, and it left countless people with huge losses. It was a major event, and its collapse really sets the stage for what we're seeing today. And this, right here, this is the first major alarm bell ringing. The FCB platform didn't pop up weeks or months later. Nope. It went live just days before TM failed. Now that puts its appearance squarely in what we call the danger window, that critical time when a failing scam structure is being repurposed and relaunched under a shiny new brand to capture the old user base. So how does this actually happen? Well, historically, when a huge scheme like this goes down, the operators don't just pack up and go home. The payment systems, the recruitment models, the psychological tricks, all that stuff, it already exists. All it really needs is just a new coat of paint. And this brings us to a really key concept we use in our investigations. We call it the skin versus engine model. As you can see, the skin, that's the brand, the story you're told, it's superficial. What we really care about is the engine. That's the fraudulent system underneath that does all the work, and it almost always stays the same. So let's see how this applies to FCB. So here's our game plan. We are not looking at FCB in a vacuum. That wouldn't tell the whole story. Instead, we're comparing 3 points on the exact same curve. OneCoin, which was the global blueprint for these kinds of massive investment scams, TMA, the local Sri Lankan example that just collapsed, and of course, FCB, the new subject we're looking at today. All right, let's move on to the core evidence, and you can see how this all builds up. We're going to compare these 3 schemes across 4 absolutely critical red flags, and this, right here, is where the pattern becomes pretty much impossible to ignore. Okay, red flag number 1, the pay-to-earn structure. With OneCoin, you had to pay for packages to unlock your earnings. With TAM, you had to deposit money to get access to different V levels. And with FCB, well, what do you know? You have to deposit funds to unlock tiers. Are you seeing the pattern here? In every single case, you have to give them your money before you can, quote, earn any money back. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This isn't a job. It is not employment. It is capital-based participation. You are paying for the right to get money that is just coming in from other participants. That is the literal definition of a Ponzi-style system. Next up, red flag number 2, the earnings are all calculated in advance. OneCoin showed you these projected earnings, TM displayed your fixed daily and monthly income, and now FCB shows you the exact earnings per task per day before you even lift a finger. Think about it. In any real business, revenue goes up and down. This kind of guaranteed, predictable return without any clear outside source of income is a massive, massive warning sign. Now let's look at red flag number 3, the simulated tasks, the so-called work. OneCoin sold education that had 0 real-world value. TM had these tasks that were totally disconnected from any actual advertising performance. And FCB, it asks you to watch videos, an action that has no verifiable business function for a major ad agency whatsoever. These tasks only exist to create the illusion of work and to justify the payouts. And finally, red flag number 4, borrowed legitimacy. This one is a classic. OneCoin used these flashy conferences and global imagery to look authoritative. TM used the confidence of its own growing community to make it seem stable. In FCB, it's just straight up using the name and the hard-earned reputation of a real, respected global company. It's a classic tactic to make you doubt your own gut feelings. So what we have here is a scheme with the same structure, the same mechanics, and the same red flags as a huge scam that just went belly up. So now let's circle back to what might be the single most damning piece of evidence of all: the timing. I mean, this timeline really says it all. The TM scam collapses in mid-December. The FCB platform appears just days before. Historically, this is exactly when these replacement platforms pop up. They launch before the public failure of the old scam, not after, and that allows all that momentum and money to just shift quietly from one sinking ship to a new, freshly painted one. So, based on the playbook we saw with OneCoin and TM, we can pretty much guess what's going to happen next. First, you're going to see these communities form really fast, probably on apps like WhatsApp or Telegram. Then, you'll start hearing about in-person meetings, maybe some public donations to build trust. And then comes the relentless pressure to upgrade your tiers. And finally, you'll see it: withdrawal restrictions. But they'll be disguised as policy updates. These are not signs of healthy business. They are textbook signs of a scam scaling up before it collapses. Now, here's the crucial point, and I want to be really clear about this. We are not predicting the exact date FCB is going to collapse. What this is an early structural warning. The FCB investment scheme shows the exact same mechanics as TM, the same logic as OneCoin, and the same risk trajectory we've seen in scams all over the world. You know, waiting around for definitive proof of collapse just guarantees that more people will become victims. The real defense is being able to recognize the pattern early. So we want to leave you with the tools to do just that. Just remember those 4 red flags we saw in FCB: the pay-to-earn model, the pre-calculated earnings, the fake tasks, and the borrowed name. They're all part of this bigger pattern. So if you are ever asked to do these things, to deposit your own money just to unlock tasks, to upgrade to higher tiers just so you can earn more or withdraw your own money, to recruit other people to boost your income, or to trust the numbers you see on a screen instead of actual money in your bank account, you are not looking at some innovative opportunity. You are looking at a very, very familiar trap. And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. These massive scams, they don't come back with a bang. They return quietly, almost silently, especially right after the last one has fallen, hoping and betting that no one is paying attention.
Stay sharp, stay safe, stay HackAware.